Hey guys, welcome back to another Call of Duty 2023 video. In today's video, of course, we're going to be talking about new leaks and information coming about this year's Call of Duty game. So we have received a new report coming from Bloomberg and Jason Schreier about this new game. So we have a little bit more information on it, what the game will entail, and basing off some of the previous leaks and stuff we've got. So before we dive into it, I want to let you guys know that I will link a playlist in the description where you guys can view all of my Call of Duty 2023 videos. That way you guys don't miss out and you're not wondering like what's going on or anything like that. You guys can check out that whole playlist. It's an extensive playlist of every bit of coverage we have heard so far about this year's game. That way you guys are completely up to date because each video kind of bases a little bit more off the last one. And so instead of re-explaining everything I've already explained in previous videos in a new one, instead I like to just reference those old ones and say, hey, go check out this old one for information on this. So make sure you guys have watched all of these videos so far in the playlist for this year's Call of Duty game. That way you guys aren't confused at all and you're staying up to date with the latest information. So here we go. Let's get started on this new information we have here today. Okay. So, Bloomberg put out a new report titled Activision's Call of Duty game this year is more modern warfare. So Jason Schreier posted this article, posted a little while ago. He says, Activision Blizzard's Call of Duty installment this year will be a continuation of 2022's Modern Warfare 2. A surprising twist in the lucrative video game franchise that for decades has released a completely new game every fall. Activision's goal for the new Call of Duty is to feel like a standalone full-price release and also an extension of Modern Warfare 2, said people familiar with the project. The current plan is for the game to carry over maps and modes from last year's shooter, the people said, although they cautioned that plans may change again between now and the release this fall. Activision made several changes to the blockbuster schedule after the 2021 entry in the series failed to meet expectations, leading some executives to believe that they are introducing new versions too rapidly. Call of Duty, which has generated more than $31 billion in revenue, is developed by a stable of Activision-owned game studios, including Infinity Ward, Treyarch, and Sledgehammer Games. Typically, one of those three takes the lead on a new Call of Duty game, rotating every few years. Infinity Ward is responsible for the Modern Warfare subseries, set in the present day, while Treyarch develops Black Ops based on historical events such as the Cold War. Sledgehammer Games has developed several one-offs such as the futuristic Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. But in early 2022, the company decided to delay the next big Treyarch game, pushing its release from 2023 to 2024 and marking the first time in nearly 2 decades the franchise would be without a new mainline game, Bloomberg reported. Activision then told Sledgehammer that it would develop a premium expansion for Modern Warfare 2 to help fill the gap, according to the people. Modern Warfare 2, which was released in October, became the best-selling video game of 2022. The expansion was planned to be big, with a single-player campaign and several multiplayer maps, and eventually it morphed into a full game release. Sledgehammer's new Modern Warfare game, the name is still unclear but it will probably not be Modern Warfare 3, is now slated for this fall, the people said, declining to be named because they weren't authorized to speak to the press. Activision spokesperson Neil Wood noted that the company has announced that a premium Call of Duty game will arrive this year and they had nothing new to share. Some current and former employees of Sledgehammer Games are worried about the schedule, which has given the company less than 2 years to develop the game. A similar schedule for the studio's previous game, 2021's Call of Duty Vanguard, led to a difficult period of overtime for some staff. That game didn't perform as well as Activision had anticipated and generally received negative reviews. This time around, some developers say they're more optimistic because they're receiving more support from other Activision studios, including Treyarch and Infinity Ward, whose leadership is also supervising the new game. At one point, Activision executives were briefing staff on a brand new vision for Call of Duty in which the series would switch between Modern Warfare and Black Ops games, each receiving 2 years of support, but any long-term plans at Activision remains hazy and tentative as the company waits to finalize its acquisition by Microsoft. The $69 billion deal is pending regulatory approval. So here we go. We have good old Tom Henderson. He waned in here. He says, I was going to write another article on the Call of Duty 2023 news that just broke, but I'll just retweet this one instead. And of course, just retweeted one of his articles he posted on Insider Gaming, where we already covered this in another video that we had just up on the channel just the other day, where he goes over the dates and stuff for this new game's beta, its campaign early access, and its actual release date. So make sure you guys go and do that. He also followed it up saying, what is new is according to Bloomberg, some Modern Warfare 2 modes and maps will carry over to the next title. Modes carrying over is not surprising, but if they do the same with the maps, then they have some massive balls. Charlie Intel covered this. They summarized it saying, so basically, per Bloomberg, plans for Year 2 expansion of Modern Warfare 2 from Sledgehammer. It is transformed into a full premium release instead. Continues the Modern Warfare 2 story, so we don't have to wait that long for what happens after the ending scene, and some Modern Warfare 2 content carries over. Ghost of Hope waned in here. He says, guess this was correct, and he quotes himself in another tweet. This is back from October 10th. He says, update on COD 2024. Treyarch have had their budgets approved for a 2-year life cycle on their next installment as a part of Activision Blizzard's 3-year budget cycle. Activision are hedging their bets on Modern Warfare doing well financially, as well as the infrastructure of COD 2.0. And then Jason Schreier, the guy who actually wrote the article, he jumped in and said, here's what's up with this year's Call of Duty. It's more Modern Warfare, led by Sledgehammer, supervised by Infinity Ward. It was originally a premium expansion, but morphed into a full game. The current plan is to continue Modern Warfare 2's story and carry over Modern Warfare 2 content. Somebody commented, said, wait, so COD 2023 and Modern Warfare 2 are sharing content? And he says, might change between now and fall, but that's the current plan. So he says, what does that mean exactly? 2 different games with some things in common? He says, I don't know all the details, and some are in flux. The idea is that Modern Warfare 2 content will carry over to the next game rather than starting from scratch with rotations, etc. And then somebody else says, so this is technically still a second-year expansion for Modern Warfare 2 like previously rumored, but being masked as a new premium release. And he says, the previous rumors were from me, so yeah. But from what I've heard, this isn't just a small DLC being sold for $70, it's a full size with a campaign and maps/modes, etc. Somebody says, Jason, I have a question, if you can provide info. How does this affect the current deal with Sony? Was it until 2024, which means this game plus the next one, or was it per game? If it was per game, I assume this is the last one. He says, I believe the deal lasts through Treyarch's game, which is next year. Okay, so there we go. That is all the questions that he answered, as well as all the articles and stuff. But this is a very interesting topic because it also brings up the question, something that I thought of and that I had about this was, so if this year's game is supposed to be, it's more than an expansion for Modern Warfare 2, what does that mean for people who buy this new game? Like, what does that mean exactly? So if it's like an expansion and it carries over content and stuff and it shares maps and modes and stuff, what does that mean? Does that mean that you have to buy both games? Like, let's think about that. So instead of, of course, like that is one advantage of starting from scratch every single year is, if you skipped a year, so let's say you did not buy Black Ops Cold War, you went literally from Modern Warfare into Vanguard. Yes, you are missing out on some things, but you literally start out Vanguard on the same exact playing field as everybody else. Literally, people who played Cold War or whatever, it'll be the exact same. Whereas, how is that going to change, with this game? Are your levels going to carry over? What about weapons? What about weapon progress? What about, achievements, challenges, camos? Is that kind of stuff going to carry over? Operators. Or is it going to be a new game in the way that you start again, once again, your level goes down, but then, how are modes going to transfer over? And, what about the name? What? I don't know. It doesn't seem like this, I don't know, this plan doesn't honestly seem all that well thought out currently. I'm sure, obviously, Activision's working on that, and, they're going to have to find a way to sell this to consumers. But, how are you going to sell that, though? Because if it's not just an expansion to Modern Warfare 2, what is that going to be? It's going to be a full game with a new story and stuff, but they're apparently not going to call it Modern Warfare 3? So, what? I honestly, this is so confusing. And once again, like I said, brings up that initial question. Are you going to need to buy both games? So in order to play the new game, are you going to need to own Modern Warfare 2? So now instead of spending $70 to play this game, now you're going to need to spend $140 to play this game? How is that going to work? Or just modes that were planned for this game being carried over into the new one. So, we've had that happen in previous games. Specifically, the first one that comes to mind for me was that Kino der Toten in Black Ops 1 Zombies was initially supposed to be a DLC map for World at War. It was supposed to be a Zombies expansion for World at War. And instead, it was too close to the release of Modern Warfare 2, so instead they delayed it, and instead just included it at launch as one of the maps within Black Ops 1. So, it could happen something like that, where, you didn't need to play World at War, own it, or anything like that to have this new one. I think that's probably what it is it's a new game, but it's still a continuation or something like that, but, all the new maps, all the maps that were going to be in Modern Warfare 2 are now going to be in this new game. So, I think it's a little confusing here because we had rumors and stuff that it was just an expansion, But, you know, as much as it says here that it's not going to be like starting from scratch, I would say just mentally prepare and think that, yes, it'll be starting from scratch, because I think that, you know, like there will be some carryover content and it'd be beneficial for you to own both games, but I don't think it's necessarily going to be a requirement for you to own both games. I think that stuff is going to transfer over, but, you know, like maps and stuff, it's not like you're going to have to own both games in order to play multiplayer. But then it also, like, I wonder about that too, because like if you're playing essentially the same game in maps that should have been in Modern Warfare 2, then what about matchmaking? Like, are they going to combine matchmaking? That could be kind of interesting. You know, I wonder if it would end up being a situation like Halo 3 and Halo 3 ODST, where they share the same matchmaking, but the campaigns are different. They're still technically two different games, but matchmaking and stuff is the same. I wonder if that would be maybe a route they would go. That could be an interesting thought. I don't know. Once again, we're kind of just spitballing here because we don't have a whole lot of information to go on. So, a lot of questions to be asked here. And of course, you know, these are all leaks and stuff and rumors at this point, so we don't have any official information other than Activision is now saying that there'll be a full game later this year. But I mean, once again, it's like, you know, supposedly with this new game we're going to be getting a campaign. It's going to expand upon the storyline of Modern Warfare 2. But how? You know, if it's not going to be a Modern Warfare 3, like, are we going to, like, spoiler alert, is it going to follow Makarov? But then again, I'm like, how are they going to do that? Are they really going to be able to expand the entire story and create a new campaign in, what, a year for it? Like, I mean, the Modern Warfare 2 campaign took, what, how long? 3 years to make, and now they're going to make a follow-up and finish out the storyline, supposedly? Or maybe, I don't know, they're going to continue it in just 1 year? I mean, it's definitely possible. Like, Cold War was essentially slapped together in about a year and a half. Maybe a year if you count COVID, you know, and all the delays and everything and the trouble that brought. So, I mean, it's possible games can be made that quick, but I don't know. I just think that this whole situation, I think it's a poor decision. I think it would be best to still just skip this game and just continue putting out more seasons and more content for this game. Of course, once again, Activision doesn't want to do that. Instead, they want to charge you $70 for a new game, which, once again, we also talked about. It sounds like they might be stripping content away that we were going to be supposed to be getting through seasons in Modern Warfare 2, instead holding on to that, and instead they're going to sell it back to us in this new game. Instead of like creating new content for this new game, they're essentially taking content that's planned for Modern Warfare 2, and instead going nope and not giving it to us in seasons for free, but instead they're going to charge us $70 for it in the new game. Keep that in mind. But we'll just have to see. We'll have to wait and see for any sort of official announcement and or more leaks and rumors and see what happens. But as for now, that is the information we have to work on. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this in the comments down below. What do you guys think? I mean, it's a very complex situation, very confusing. So once again, like I said, make sure you guys follow the playlist, as well as get subscribed to the channel, that way you guys don't miss out. And that way you guys are staying up to date on all the latest information about this game. But that's going to do it, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Get subscribed if you're new around here. And I'll see you guys in the next video.